The phone buzzed on the mahogany desk. Marcus Reid, tech billionaire and CEO of Horizon Innovations, glanced down at the unknown number. The message read, "Hi Sarah, I hate to ask but I'm desperate. Can you loan me $43 for formula? I get paid Friday and will pay you back then. Emma hasn't eaten since yesterday morning." His finger hovered over the delete button, but something stopped him. That single text would change 2 lives forever, and perhaps yours too, if you stay with us until the end of this incredible true story. If you're moved by what you're about to hear, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more stories that restore faith in humanity. Across town, Leila Jackson sat on the floor of her apartment, staring at her phone in desperation. The 26-year-old single mother had exhausted every option she could think of. Her refrigerator contained nothing but a half-empty bottle of ketchup and some expired yogurt. Her 8-month-old daughter Emma whimpered in her playpen, hungry and confused. Leila had already watered down the last of the formula that morning, stretching it as far as she safely could. She had been laid off from her job as a medical receptionist 3 weeks earlier when the clinic downsized. Her unemployment benefits hadn't kicked in yet, and her emergency savings, what little she had, were depleted by rent and utilities. She had already visited the local food bank twice that month, exceeding their limit. Her parents lived across the country and were struggling themselves. Her ex-husband had disappeared shortly after learning of her pregnancy, leaving no trace and no support. In desperation, she had texted her friend Sarah, hoping for a small loan. But in her haste and exhaustion, she had mistyped the number. Marcus Reid stared at the message longer than he normally would. At 42, he had built his tech empire from nothing, starting in his garage 20 years ago. Now worth over $8 billion, he rarely saw text messages directly. His team of assistants filtered most communications. But he had kept his old personal number, which few people had. Something about this message felt different from the usual scams or misdirected texts. This could be a scam, he thought. But what if it wasn't? The specificity of the amount, $43, not a round number, and the mention of formula struck him as authentic. He thought of his own sister, who had struggled as a single mother years ago before he made his fortune. He typed back, "I think you have the wrong number. I'm not Sarah. But if you really need formula for your baby, I can help." Leila's heart sank when she saw the response. She had typed the wrong number in her desperation. Embarrassed and even more hopeless, she replied, "I'm so sorry to bother you." "Yes, wrong number. Please forget I asked." Marcus felt a strange compulsion to respond. "No bother. Is your baby really without formula? I'd like to help if that's true." Leila hesitated. She had been raised never to accept charity, to stand on her own 2 feet. But Emma's hungry cries pierced her heart. Pride wouldn't feed her daughter. "Yes, it's true," she typed with trembling fingers. "I lost my job and I'm waiting for my first unemployment check. I've never been in this position before. I'm sorry to involve a stranger." Marcus made a quick decision. "There's a Western Union location near you? I can send $200 right now. No need to pay back." Leila couldn't believe what she was reading. "That's incredibly generous, but I only need enough for formula until Friday. I can't accept so much. Consider it a gift from someone who's been fortunate. No strings attached." 30 minutes later, Leila was rushing into the nearest grocery store, the Western Union transfer receipt clutched in her hand. She bought formula, diapers, and enough groceries to last until her paycheck. As Emma finally drank her bottle, Leila sent a photo to the stranger with a heartfelt thank you. Marcus stared at the photo of the baby girl drinking formula, her mother's relieved smile visible at the edge of the frame. Something about this interaction felt more meaningful than the million-dollar deals he made daily. He saved the photo. What Leila didn't know was that Marcus had instructed his assistant to run a discreet background check, not out of suspicion, but because he was considering doing more. The report confirmed everything. Leila Jackson, former medical receptionist at Westside Health Clinic, laid off during recent staff cuts. Single mother to Emma, 8 months. No criminal record. Good credit until recently. 2 days later, Leila received another text. How are you and Emma doing? Do you have a resume you could send me? Leila was surprised by the follow-up but sent her resume to the email address provided. She had nothing to lose. Marcus reviewed her qualifications and made another call. His company's health services division needed administrative staff, and her medical office experience was relevant. He forwarded her information to HR with a note to expedite an interview. The following Monday, Leila received a call inviting her to interview at Horizon Health Services. She assumed her recent applications had finally gotten attention. She arranged for her neighbor to watch Emma and spent her last few dollars on bus fare to the gleaming downtown office building. The interview went well, but Leila was stunned when offered a position on the spot, with a salary 30% higher than her previous job, plus benefits that included childcare assistance. When the HR director mentioned that the CEO had personally recommended her application, everything clicked into place. The wrong number text, she whispered. That was Marcus Reid? The HR director nodded with a smile. He rarely involves himself in hiring, but he said you had exactly the qualities we need. That evening, Leila received another text. Congratulations on the new position. I hope it helps you and Emma. No need to thank me, your determination and qualifications got you the job. I just made the introduction. Leila typed through tears, I don't know how to thank you. You've changed our lives. Just pay it forward someday when you can, came the reply. 6 months later, Leila was thriving in her new position. She had moved to a safer apartment, Emma was enrolled in the company's subsidized childcare program, and she had even started a small emergency savings account. She had never publicly shared the story of how she got the job, honoring Marcus's preference for privacy. But Marcus had been watching her progress through company reports. Her supervisors praised her work ethic and innovative ideas for improving patient communication systems. When a position opened for a department coordinator, he quietly endorsed her promotion. On the 1-year anniversary of that desperate text, Leila received a package at her desk. Inside was a silver frame containing a printed screenshot of their first text exchange, along with a note. Sometimes wrong numbers are exactly right. Congratulations on your success this year, Mr. That same day, Marcus established the Emma Fund, a $10 million foundation providing emergency assistance to single parents facing temporary financial crises. The foundation's logo was a simple text message bubble. He never publicly connected it to Leila's story, but she knew. 3 years later, Leila had been promoted to department director. She served on the board of the Emma Fund in her spare time, reviewing applications from parents in situations she understood all too well. For every parent helped, she required only that they someday help someone else when they could. Emma, now a precocious 4-year-old, didn't know the story of the text message that had changed their trajectory. Someday, Leila would tell her about the moment desperation led to a misdialed number, and how one person's compassion had rippled outward to help hundreds of families. Marcus Reid never sought recognition for his actions. In fact, he and Leila met in person only once, at a company function where they exchanged knowing smiles but no words about their shared secret. He had learned something valuable from their interaction, that sometimes the most meaningful investments weren't the ones that showed up on balance sheets. The story of the wrong number text remained private between them, a reminder that in our hyper-connected world, genuine human connection sometimes happens by accident. And that sometimes, the smallest actions, answering a text, sending $200, forwarding a resume, can alter the course of lives. As for you watching this video, perhaps there's someone in your life who needs help they're too proud to ask for. Or perhaps you've been Leila, needing help but afraid to reach out. Either way, this true story reminds us that kindness doesn't always require billions, sometimes it just requires paying attention to the unexpected messages that come our way. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more stories that remind us of our shared humanity. And remember, wrong numbers sometimes connect exactly the right people.